So the first thing we're going to do is familiarize ourselves with Unreal Engine. And if you don't have Unreal Engine downloaded and installed yet, simply go to unrealengine.com and you'll see the Unreal Engine website. At the top right, you'll see a download button, and you'll be asked to create an Epic Games account. This is free, and it lets you download the engine, but also it gives you access to the Unreal Engine community and resources. So you have all of these things at your disposal, and in particular, I'm going to show you one thing, and that is the forums link. If you go to the forums link, you have all of these Unreal Engine forums, and down here under development discussion, you've got different categories such as C++ gameplay programming. And if you click on one of these, you'll see all of these questions that Unreal Engine developers have asked and other developers have logged in and answered. Now, not all of them have responses, but if you run into a problem while you're developing an Unreal Engine, chances are if you search for that issue in particular, you may find a post that was asked that was very similar to your question, and other people may have responded to it. So this is a very valuable resource as a developer. And the more skills you gain, you'll actually be able to log in and answer other people's questions and contribute to the community. So once you download Unreal Engine, you should have the Epic Games Launcher. Okay, so we have the Epic Games Launcher. And you'll see right off the bat that to the left there are some tabs here that allow you to access some of the benefits of the Epic Games Launcher that are not related to development in Unreal Engine, such as the store and the library. You can buy games from the store, and as Epic Games continues to release content on the store, you will be able to browse and see what new games arrive. And also, on a regular basis, Epic Games releases some games for free that you can download and keep on your machine. So that's a cool perk of having the Epic Games Launcher. But we're interested in the Unreal Engine section. So click on Unreal Engine, and you'll see up at the top you've got some tabs here. Now, the Unreal Engine tab shows you some interesting featured content, so you can take a look and click on some of these if you're interested in learning about some new exciting things. You'll see 4.25 when it was available. You had this news little tab here you could click on and read about, and you've also got some handy links to different sources such as news, Unreal Engine YouTube content, the Answer Hub, which if you click on that, and if you're not signed in, you'll be asked to sign in to your Epic Games account, and then you can have the Answer Hub here and ask questions here on the Unreal Engine Answer Hub. So sometimes you can search for questions that may have been asked before and answered that are the same as your question or similar. So sometimes you can come here and find the answer to a problem you're having if you can't figure it out. You've got the forums and you've got a roadmap. These, I encourage you to click on these and take a look at some of the interesting content that you can access there. You've got the Learn tab, which also contains some projects you can download to learn from. You can also access other resources. You've got a Programmer Quick Start here that may help you with a little bit of information as a beginning programmer, things like that. You can also download some of these Unreal Engine projects like the content examples, which contains a sort of a museum style project that has a bunch of different displays showing different things you can do in the engine, and you can take a look at how those were made and learn from them. So you got lots of different things here. The marketplace is a really cool thing that you can access to get content for your game. Now, this content can range from meshes, props, environments, characters, animations, particle systems, sounds, plugins, all kinds of different things. Some of them cost money, some of them are free, some things are free temporarily, some things are permanently free. If you hover over free and go to permanently free collection, you'll see things that are permanently free. So I like to check the marketplace every once in a while to see if there's anything interesting there that I would like to use in my games. Now, next you have the library, and this is where our main focus will be. Just to kind of skip past it, you'll see that you've got Twin Motion. This is something else. You'll see that it's a trial. Twin Motion is another cool thing that you have access to with the Epic Games launcher, and if you are interested, you can go ahead and check that out. But we are interested in making games in Unreal Engine, so we will come to the library section. Now, the library section has several different sections here. The engine versions rather contains it shows you which engine versions you have on this machine. And to add an engine version, all you need to do is click on the plus icon and then select from the drop-down menu which engine version you would like, and then click install, and it will go through the installation process. Once you have a version of Unreal Engine installed, you can click Launch, which will then launch Unreal Engine and ask you if you would like to create a new project or open an existing one. So we'll do that shortly. If you scroll down, you'll see in the My Projects section, you have some of the projects that you have on your machine, and if you right-click on one of them, you can click Show in Folder, and it will take you to the folder on your machine where that project is, and you'll see all the folders associated with that project, including the Visual Studio solution file. And we'll get into that more as we continue the course. Below the My Projects section is the Vault section, and in the Vault section is content that you can add to your games that you have downloaded from the marketplace or downloaded from anywhere else in the previous resources I showed you. So I like to keep an eye out for cool free things, or maybe sometimes I'll purchase some assets from the marketplace, and they will appear here, and I can easily add them to my projects by clicking Add to Project, and it will ask me to select a project to add it to. So we'll get some experience with that. But what I would like to do now is create a new project using the latest version that I have on this machine, which is at the time of this video, the latest version out, which is Unreal 4.25.1. So if you click on Launch, you will launch the Unreal Engine launcher, or you will launch Unreal Engine rather, and we'll get a menu here pretty soon. So the Epic Games Launcher will close, and you will get this thing showing you how much is loaded, and once it's at 100%, then you get the Unreal Project Browser. Now you can select from recent projects, you can even click More to see more of your recent projects, you can even click Browse to browse from your PC, or you can go back and you can create a new one. Now these last three options here are additional things you get with the Epic Games Launcher in addition to the regular Unreal Engine game development package. But we're going to create games, so we're going to click on Games and click Next. So next we have the option to select a template or use a blank project. A template contains some code and some assets, and it's already a little mini project put together for you. For example, the third person project starts off with a little level with some blocks that you can run on, with the Unreal Engine mannequin mesh that is programmed to be the current character that you can run around with and control. So these give you the opportunity to start with some content and learn and look into how they were programmed and how they were made. But we're going to create a blank project because we would like to start from scratch. So select blank, click Next, and now we have the project settings. Now the project settings allow us to choose a blueprint or a C++ project. We're going to choose C++. Now just so you know, if you chose blueprint, you could still add C++ classes and turn it into a C++ project. But because we plan on using C++ right off the bat, we're just going to start with a C++ project. You can choose desktop/console or mobile/tablet. We're going to create a desktop/console game, and we're also going to choose maximum quality and not scalable 3D or 2D, which is optimized and has less graphics quality. We're going to use the maximum. Now, with starter content versus with no starter content, this is just a few folders that contain some assets that we can start with, just so that we don't have a completely blank project. So we're going to start with some starter content. Then finally, we have ray tracing, which is a very interesting and exciting capability. It requires some higher system requirements. It has higher system requirements to enable it. We're going to leave that disabled for now. We're just getting used to Unreal Engine, so we're not going to enable ray tracing right now. Now, down here, we can select the folder we would like to put our project in. So I have mine set up. You can click on the three dots here and choose your folder. And then we can choose to give our project a name. Now, I'm going to call this first project, and I'm going to spell it correctly. And this is going to be the name of our project. It's also going to determine the name of the names of some C++ identifiers in Visual Studio or Xcode if you're using a Mac. So if you choose a different project name, just know that you're going to have a couple of different identifiers in Visual Studio on the C++ side, namely the name of the project and also the name of a header and CPP file. We'll get into those, but I recommend you use the same name as mine, which is first project, and that is where you will set that. So once you have the folder and the project name, you can click Create Project and give it some time. It will generate our Unreal Engine project as well as the Visual Studio solution file, which contains all of the C++ code that is built into the engine, and also where we will add our own additional C++ code when we create our games. So you'll see that the Unreal Engine is showing you how much progress you have while loading before it loads up Unreal Engine. The first thing I'll point out is you can hover over the project name at the top right and see the engine version. So if you're ever wondering which version you're currently working in, you can see it right there. It says 4.25.1. If you minimize it, you'll see that Visual Studio has launched, and it shouldn't matter which version of Visual Studio you're using. Of course, Mac users will have a Xcode or whatever other IDE, integration development environment that you're using to have your C++ code. Now it's going to show you that it's doing some stuff at the bottom here. You got a little progress bar. Do not close Visual Studio until it's finished. In fact, you can just leave it open, and we'll go back into Unreal Engine and take a look at the engine itself and see the various menus and how they work. So this is what Unreal Engine looks like when you first open it, and you have a variety of different things to look at, and we're going to go over what these different tools are. And in the background, you'll see that Visual Studio is preparing your project. So this will take a little bit of time for it to create all the project files. It'll take a few minutes. And in the meantime, we can go back to Unreal Engine and just take a look at the different menus we have here. Now, in the next video, we're going to actually go through what these menus are, but for now, take a look inside of this main window here, and with your mouse, left click and drag, and you'll notice that if you drag left and right, you'll pan left and right so you can look around in the world, and if you drag forward and backward, you will actually translate through space forward and backward. So just using the left click and the mouse to drag, you can maneuver your way all throughout the level. Now if you want to look up, you can right click and drag up, and you will be able to look up and down and left and right. So even though left clicking allows you to look left and right, it actually doesn't let you look up and down. That actually creates a forward backward movement motion. But if you right click, you can look all around. If you click left and right together and drag up, you will go up and down in the air. And if you scroll your mouse wheel forward and backward, you will zoom in and out with small increments if you click your middle mouse wheel and drag around, you will stay in the plane of the picture and go up, down, left, or right. So these are some ways that you can use to maneuver your way through the level in Unreal Engine. And what I like to do is left click, right click, and middle mouse click to get around. Another way to get around is to use the keyboard. If you use the forward key, you will go forward. The backward key will bring you backward. Left and right will translate you left and right. And so that's another way to maneuver your way throughout the world in Unreal Engine. Now, you'll notice we have some objects here, and we're going to cover what these different objects are in time, but just for now know that we can select an object in the world by left-clicking on it, and there are various ways to manipulate different objects when you have them selected, and we'll go over those in the next video.